As students progress through the third exercise, I'm getting a number of questions about, well, how do I check two conditions at the same time? And that's where we come into what's called Boolean operators. Boolean operators are used to check multiple Boolean statements at the same time. So we have two that we're interested in this course. We have an AND Boolean operator as well as an OR Boolean operator. The AND operator is written in Java using the ampersand, which is Shift 7, so it's under the 7 key. The OR operator is represented using two pipet 2 symbols, which is Shift \\. So let's just remind ourselves this idea of gate logic we talked about, because what it is this is an application of this gate idea. So we have two gates we discussed at the start of this course. We discussed AND gates, and AND gates are drawn like this. And the way AND gates work is that both conditions have to be true in order for the output to be true. So if we look in this truth table down below, if I have A is true, true, false, false, B is true, false, true, false. So now we have a condition A and B, true, true. They're both true, and therefore Y is true. True, false, we have one condition false, so we return false. False, true, we return false. And false, false will return false. The OR gate must have at least one condition to be true. So since it must have one condition to be true, we just have to check if either A or B is true. So here we have true, true, so the result is true. True, false, so the result is true. False, true, so the result is true. False, false, so the result is false. So this logic gate idea is applied when we're setting up our conditional statements. So if we scroll down a bit here, we have two little code segments. So let's look at this first code segment here. It says int num equals 27. I've left off a semicolon. And now what I want to do is I want to check if 27 is divisible by both 3 and it's divisible by 4. So again, I use my conditional statement, which is an if, and I say if num mod 3, and remembering that mod returns the remainder, is equivalent to 0. So this says if I divide the number by 3, is my remainder 0? This is mod. And then it says and num mod 4 is equivalent to 0. So this is checking if the number divided by 4 is equivalent to 0. Sorry, the number divided by 4 has a remainder of 0. So this is how we put both of these conditions together into one statement. It's going to check this first condition, and if this first condition is true and this second condition is true, therefore it will then execute the code. So if we think about this example here, int num is equal to 27. Well, 27 mod 3 is equal to 0, so that's going to return a true value. And then 27 modulus 4 is not equivalent to 0, so that's going to return a false value. Therefore, we have true and false, and Java will not execute this conditional statement. An important but subtle idea that will affect some of your logic later on is it's important to know that Java runs through Java runs through conditional statements with multiple Boolean expressions from left to right. It knows to exit it as soon as it finds a false statement inside of an AND condition. So we want to remember that when Java executes this, it's going to go inside the brackets and work its way from left to right. The second example is we want to check if 27 is divisible by 3 or is divisible by 4. So we say int num equals 27. And again, left off my semicolon. If num mod 3 is equivalent to 0, meaning if we divide 27 by 3, is the remainder 0, and we know that is true. Or num mod 4 is equivalent to 0, and we know that is false. But since this is an OR condition, only one has to be true. Therefore, it's going to enter this conditional statement. Again, the subtlety of this idea now is that it will evaluate this from left to right. So all Java will actually evaluate is this first Boolean expression. Good luck.